Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Doctor Strange Surgeon Supreme Issue 2. And I really enjoyed this issue because it kind of got Strange back into it and kind of revealing a little bit more of what's going on. And at the end part of the issue, we got a look at Strange Academy, so I'm like, ooh, this has some good stuff in it. So, we saw that he was pretty much plummeting to a drowning death in the previous issue, so we see he's able to get his way out of that and get into the mystical forge realm that he's got. And he's like, alright, I need to start building up some stuff that will help me in the fight with a magically empowered wrecker. So he's going through and everything. He's trying to figure out like the best way to kind of go about this. He wants information on what's going on because he knows somebody paid for this. So he's like, all right, this is kind of outside the wrecker's usual kind of wheelhouse. What's going on here? So he then gets back into the hospital and he does one of his surgeries to make sure that somebody's motor functions will be able to be okay. And he had evidently tasked his assistant with looking into the shell corporations while he's playing with a Doctor Strange figure and a Dormammu figure with a model of the Sanctum Sanctorum. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. His question today was if he really knew Thor, and then he also asked if he'd been to Asgard, but of course that's two questions. But he gives him the information that he got it down to one company, but then it just started going into shell games and everything. Asked him if he knew Dr. Ludgate and all that, and we see that he goes off to talk with him. And he's Strange is, of course, in cautious mode here because this dude's supposed to be dead. He's an Avenger and all that, and they had trained together under the Ancient One, and we kind of see that going through as they're talking. We see that he uses the Eye of Agamotto on him to see if he can get anything else out, but of course Ludgate's like, hey, please don't pry. And he's like, yeah, I'm just doing my wizardry while also making sure that I'm technically not staff. I'm just here for like the most kind of difficult surgeries that they've got. It's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And a stranger's like, okay, are you really okay with that? Because you were usually kind of PO'd that I was like the more accomplished protege. Now, granted, there could be a little bit of Strange's arrogance in there, but I don't think it's completely off the mark because he became the Sorcerer Supreme for a reason. And he's like, all right, we'll talk about it when we have dinner. And he's like, yeah, I do look forward to that. And we see that Ludgate's got this weird world map. And it's like, okay, because his soul had been bounded like a magical dimension. So there's more there than meets the eye. And as Doctor Strange then gets onto the roof, he's pretty much trying to process what happened and sees buildings in the distance falling down. And he goes over, sees that it's, of course, the record going down. But he's got someone else with him, Thunderball. And I gotta hand it to the art style for what's going on here because I like how it's going with like Doctor Strange and all that, but Wrecker and Thunderball look really fucking creepy. And the thing is, they don't really do much other than they're like mystically empowered and they don't look right. Something is like unsettlingly off about them as they look almost kind of like I don't know. It's almost zombie-ish, but not. I like their faces are there, but it's not the same kind of look. It's like, oh god, they look strained and weirded out. But we see that, of course, Thunderball's got a magically charged up weapon as well, and Strange has to kind of like figure out how to deal with this. Now he does get kind of buried under rubble, and Wrecker's like, hey, I thought I killed him once before. Let me check this out. But he's able to trick Thunderball into pretty much hitting himself with his magically imbued item, and Strange, we see, has created gloves that use gauntlets more out of magical resistant skin so that way he can wrest these objects from them because, like he had said before, he's not a brawler. He's able to get it away from the Wrecker because previously, when the Wrecker was using it in this battle, he was pretty much prying into the multiverse and Strange had to like link up with his other Sorcerer Supreme selves to blast him off. So he wasn't taking any chances with this. And he's able to get him off and use the remaining power. Well, he was using the power from these objects to right all of the destruction that had been done but they immediately disappeared after that. Of course, Strange tries to get more information from Wrecker, but he's kind of like adamant and said, that was just part of the fee and everything. He's like, okay, somebody is running magical and mystical items. This is kind of bad. And of course, we see at the end of the issue, somebody looks to be running through the forge that Strange has, and we see somebody cloaked. We don't know who it is, but we see that they dropped something and there's like a tentacle and everything. So the end portion of this issue is a preview for Strange Academy, and we see that Zelma is taking this young girl to the Strange Academy, and it's in New Orleans, and of course it's in that kind of plain sight kind of way and mystically done, but gets her in there. We see the rest of the groups around. We've got like a frost giant, we got like someone from Asgard, we've got someone from Dormammu's dimension and everything, and we see Dr. Voodoo come in. He's the one that's pretty much the one in charge of the school, and giving them the kind of rundown of how Zelma's kind of like their kind of librarian kind of person. The ancient one's going to be an instructor. The mindful one is going to be like their dormitory chef kind of dude. And that they'll have all these other mystical people kind of pop up throughout the semester giving their own kind of lectures. And it was kind of cool seeing them all there. And then someone's like, what about Doctor Strange? And of course, that point in the preview, Strange is busted in with like, he's like, hey, I kind of need some help here. I'm going to deal with this thing. And everyone's like, sure, okay. So I really liked that premise. I'm like, alright, pretty much Hogwarts in the Marvel Universe. Why nobody has done this before boggles my mind, but I do like the resurgence of them actually investing in the magical mystical arts portion of the Marvel Universe and just being like, hey, look at this. And it's a great way to kind of bring new kind of magical mystical characters into play. It's a nice launching pad for that kind of thing, and I hope it kind of goes on in the future. So we'll kind of have to see about that. I'll have to think about how that goes on, but I really liked the preview that they added with this, and I liked what we'd seen in Strange's issue, and I can't wait to see what's kind of going on and how Ludgate's going to potentially be involved and who's behind the Wrecker and Thunderball and everything. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.